Nec Ultima Verba.
I hate to bring it up, but BDSP, not even just like how long it takes and how unresponsive it is, but the friend mechanic. You see people having a single turn being given an extra 12 seconds of runtime because your Pokemon toughed it out for you. It got a crit, cured itself of poisoning, and it wanted to turn around and ask if it did a good job, and then it wants to tell you that it's having a bad day.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Misfits podcast. My name is Fitz, and I'm joined by my co-host over here, Brandon. Say hello, Brandon.
Oh, hi, Brandon. That's me.
That's Brandon.
I am part of this Misfits podcast. We're just a band of merry men, lacking the sometimes two women who are here with us, but that's okay.
Exactly.
I don't know what the Misfits podcast is.
It's okay. I've discovered recently that despite the Misfits podcasts for quite some time being the number one podcast in Australia, that hardly anyone I know as a fellow Australian even knows who the Misfits are. And I find that depressing as a straight white man.
Yeah, well, no, okay, look, I've heard of it. I just don't know anything about it. That's the only thing.
No,
I listen to 2 podcasts regularly. 3, including this one, of course, yes.
Obviously.
Yes, so I'm
a very busy man.
I'm very busy, yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, just like I regularly watch Avatar, of course.
You do? Absolutely.
Very close to finishing that show again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have plenty of time to discuss everything we need to discuss for the Avatar episodes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's not my fault, okay? It's not my fault. It's been another busy-ish week. It's a bit... I'm knocking everything over. It's been a busy week, but that's okay, Callan.
We're all allowed to have busy weeks.
This week especially, having Pokemon Legends Arceus just came out.
And quite the time cruncher.
That's all I've been doing for like the past week is playing that game because it is addicting.
It is morbidly addicting. And I'm going to admit, you've probably progressed significantly more than me because... Whoa.
Oh, that's a first.
I know. Because I've been so laid back about this. Which is interesting for a Pokemon game.
I know, man. I'm 30 hours in, and I've just reached the final, like the snowy area.
You're definitely ahead.
Eshay. Usually, Callan finishes these Pokemon games in like a day. So
I know, but this is not your average Pokemon game. This is not Sword and Shield, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, overpriced experience.
This is
post game.
Exactly. This is the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon games. Dun dun dun.
What?
Not really. Breath of the Wild accomplishes way more. This is more like
it does.
This is more like the Ocarina of Time, just both thematically and graphically.
Unironically, I will concur. This is essentially Ocarina of Time.
Except it's about 20 years late when it could have happened, but that's okay. You know what? I'll take it for what it is. It's a huge step forward.
It is.
And I'm really excited for the future. Assuming they are smart and keep using these ideas that they've had in this game.
I know.
Hopefully they do.
Fingers crossed.
But yes. Fingers crossed. Anyways, spoiler warning maybe? Do we need to put that, Callan?
I believe as much, but we'll only say it. I'm not fucking asked to do anything special. If
your spoilery stuff starts now, I guess, probably. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the entire experience.
And just Nintendo in general, I think. Because this is quite an important part of what I think. Well, not even Nintendo, just the Pokemon company in general. But also Nintendo. And Game Freak. Exactly. You know how it is.
Yes.
You can never tell what Pokemon truly is anymore. If it was a Nintendo game, like officially under Nintendo, we would have gotten this about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe 20 years ago. I'm just saying. I know I keep digging at the graphics. Honestly, the graphics are garbage. Hot
The
garbage.
graphics are hot fucking dog shit. It is some
Yeah,
GameCube-ass stuff. They'll pan out to show you some, just like some scenes of like the world, and it's like, wow, this looks like dog shit. I can count the polygons on that mountain. You know? The lighting on that volcano looks like dog shit.
It is weird. It doesn't look half bad when you're playing in handheld because everything's smaller.
In handheld, it's passable. Details. It is. I will concur.
Oh yeah.
And then for fun, I decided to put it up on my TV. I decided to exactly. And it just looks so
frame rates
jarring.
Drop.
It does. Yeah. It gets disgusting. It gets choppy.
Everything's a bit low res.
Protagonist looks like fucking Tomb Raider from back in the day when her tits were just a triangular fucking trapezoid.
Yeah. I mean, the graphics aren't great, but you know what? Honestly, this might be the only time I ever accept bad graphics in a video game because the gameplay is so much fun. I can't believe how entertaining this game is compared to... I honestly don't think I can go back to the traditional style of Pokemon games.
30
Maybe
minutes
for nostalgia, like every once in a while.
Yeah, this is true. Some of the originals, the classics. Probably not so much the latter stuff. Like... but like 30 minutes into Legends of Arceus, I'd caught more Pokemon in that one game than I typically will in an entire playthrough of any other game in the series. And I enjoyed it.
I know, right?
I will get up to the champion with only 5 Pokemon on my team. And that's just how I play. And Legends of Arceus, first boss, you've already got 6 mons on your team. And you did that on your own. Easily, 100%. Do you need all of them? Probably not, but it's fun that way. Yeah,
I mean, the game it's not that hard. I would say it
really isn't, but it's
average, I guess.
Yeah. I'll admit, Switch controls did make a couple of the bosses a bit janky. Like...
Oh, really?
Or at least for me. Actually, no, the issue is that I bought a Pro Controller about 3 months ago, and then recently it started drifting like hell.
Pro Controller?
Pro Controller, I know. It's disgusting. And for a Pro Controller, it's not like dust or anything. You literally got to rip it open and replace parts. So anyways, after getting so used to having a Pro Controller and playing like a normal human being, now I got to go back to these shitty fucking Joy-Cons. I think one of them is drifting.
Damn.
So that might have impacted my level of play. I will say this.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Well, that's just a Nintendo problem then.
This is true. This is Nintendo neglecting drift for 4 years on purpose.
Yeah.
And then not really providing a solution when they addressed it.
That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But you know what? I completely forgot about all the problems in the world when I first played this game. This is exactly what I imagined Pokemon games were like when I was a kid. And now it's actually real. I imagine them to be look a bit more nicer, but last joke about the graphics. But yeah.
Unironically, playing Pokemon Legends of Arceus, it gave me the same feeling that I did when I first booted up, like my first Pokemon game. It's like, wow, this is so fucking cool. Look at all this cool shit everywhere. I'm having fun. I understand it, but I also don't care that I understand it.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, really. I understood everything.
And, God, there's just so much good in this, right? I almost want to ignore all the bad stuff, like the graphics. But I'm honestly
really
amazed.
It,
yeah, really, that is just it. I wish there were more battles, like trainer battles and that sort of thing.
This is true, but then again,
I'm glad
everyone
they
else are
didn't
fucking pussies, and they don't even want to hold a Shanks, let alone battle with one.
That's true. So it doesn't make sense thematically, and I get that, and that's fine. But yeah, God, where do I start? Okay, I gotta say, my favorite thing so far has just been listening to the Pokemon cries in the background. Just listening out and trying to recognize, oh, what's that? Where can I find that? Is that a Shinx? No, it's a Luxray. It's gonna kill me because it's got red eyes, and that's scary. And God, yeah, I ran into a Snorlax, by the way, and it hyper beamed me to death. So
The classic Snorlax.
Oh yeah,
I've been seeing that Snorlax everywhere. It is hilarious, the sort of shit that goes down.
Dude, the hyper beam animation is so intense.
It is.
It's actually insane.
This is the first time in a very long time that a Pokemon game has put effort into battle animations. I think we haven't. Like, people have been joking about, not even joking. Like, this is just a genuine issue. How like we haven't had decent animations in like Pokemon Stadium or whatever the fuck, like those old fucking GameCube games where you just battle shit. Like, we haven't had decent animations since then. And then all of a sudden, this beautiful game, none of that Pokemon hopping up and down, shitty 2D animated fucking JPEG turns up on your screen.
Yeah.
None of that. Everything is
They run at each other.
They really do. They're walking around. You can walk around. They're like jumping back and forth at each other. Couple custom animations, and they all look really nice.
Oh my god, I honestly really love that. And what starter did you pick, Callum?
I picked. I forgot in his Cyndaquil. There we go.
Good. Yes. All right. I fully evolved my Cyndaquil, and he learned Flamethrower. And that flamethrower animation is the best flamethrower I've seen in a Pokemon game.
Just overall, there's just nothing better as far as I'm concerned.
It starts blue when it's coming out of the mouth, and then it just gets more and more red as it goes on, which I think that's unrealistic, but it looks so damn cool.
I mean, it's kind of realistic.
Oh, is it? I'm not.
You've never seen a birthday candle? Like, the base of it's a little blue, and then it gets a little redder towards the top.
I have seen many birthday candles, but I must admit I have no recollection.
I think of it like a Bunsen burner, like back in the day in high school, we were all trying to sear each other's eyebrows off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We had to get a license to use those things.
Did we?
I forgot about Bunsen burners. Yeah.
Does this mean we're licensed operators of Bunsen burners?
I am. I still have my license.
You actually kept something from school?
Yeah, I have it hidden somewhere in probably one of my school diaries.
It's actually hilarious. I will not lie, I burnt everything.
Oh, damn, fire. Nice, yeah.
Yeah, except for the uniforms.
I had to keep
I don't know where
stuff.
they are.
Obviously,
I kept
my stuff. Yeah.
Obviously, I kept my certificate and all that, like for graduating. But beyond that, fire all of it.
Right, yeah. No, I just kept it for my brother because he's going to be that same HSC student one day. But yeah, back to Pokemon.
Yes,
more importantly,
Pokemon. Most important. I would argue that a large part of the experience for me was the soundtrack. I mean, obviously, Pokemon Nintendo has a habit of nailing soundtracks, but when you go to battle Cynthia's ancestor, like the first trainer battle, that is the most fucking hype intro to a basic ass trainer battle that I've ever heard. That shit slaps so fucking hard.
Yeah, hey, well deserved. He is the ancestor of everyone's favorite champions.
So, really is.
Yeah.
Like, what a chad.
I agree with you completely. One of my favorite things. You're 3 areas into the game, right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, one of my favorite things has been listening to Jubilife Village's soundtrack. How it changed from the beginning of the game to where I am now. It's literally growing closer and closer. Yeah, but it's like it's gotten closer to what it is in like Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, right? And I just love that. The more buildings pop up and that sort of thing, it just
The little flute whistle as well, being the intro to the original Diamond and Pearls. Like,
yeah,
they put a
that
lot
made
of
me
effort.
unreasonably happy.
I know.
Yeah,
There's a
and
lot of
at
effort into the
nighttime
small
when you're in
details.
the forest. Yeah, like at nighttime when you're in the forest, it starts playing the Eterna. Yeah,
Eterna City, yeah.
I've never said that out loud before. Eterna City's soundtrack, or the forest at least, and I always really loved listening to that. Yeah, not to mention the battle theme is a banger.
Naturally.
And, the evolution theme.
Oh my god, they nailed evolution. I am pleased visually as well. This is such an upgrade. Like, sure, like, wow, Sparky shit, wow, but now it's like full grown. It's like the whole shape shifting, morphing, black form, boom kind of deal brought to life. Like,
it feels cool now.
It does.
And God, what's it called? God, I'm blanking now. No, I'm not blanking. Mechanically as well, I love what they've done. You don't need an Everstone anymore. Because now there's just the option to evolve whenever you want.
Exactly.
God.
They've condensed pretty much everything you need into one woman. Like, she teaches you TMs and HMs and everything.
Yeah.
Gives you moves. You can swap out moves on the fly.
Oh, God, I love that.
Nice.
God, I love not having to look up where is the move tutor in this game. And then
you can grow nature mints. You can literally just...
What's a nature mint?
Like, they introduced that in Sword and Shield to everyone's happiness, but like, it's literally just a mint that you can... Like, it's an item that you give to them to change their nature. And all you got to do is like do those farm quests where you like give those farmers Pokemon to like grow the fields and shit, and then they literally just grow shit for you for free. And once you get that to like 3 fields, he starts giving you nature mints.
They do. I haven't spoken to those guys since I started playing the game. I got all 4 plots, and then I just haven't done anything with them.
Honestly, check it out. Like, they give you a lot of really good free stuff.
Oh my god, because I thought, that'd be really useful. I've been using a Lilligant on my team.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that they became a, physical attacker with their Hisuian form, so I picked one that would raise the special attack instead.
Yeah, so now you can give it an adamant nature,
There we go, exactly.
Easy clap, you fixed it, nothing wrong.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I will say one thing, like Sword and Shield and like a lot of the later editions, they did make a lot of quality of life changes when it comes to like breeding and like altering a Pokemon's stats. In Sword and Shield, you can essentially just pick any Pokemon out from the wild and then just fill it with steroids and make it perfect. You can change its IVs, you can change its nature, you can max out its EVs. Just easy as that.
Damn.
So nice. And they're continuing that.
Yeah, I never got into that, but I'm glad to see them actually carrying over these quality of life mechanics. Because that was one of my biggest gripes with Sword and Shield, was the fact that they never brought back ride Pokemon.
It just
felt like such a missed opportunity to...
Let's go Pikachu and Eevee now.
Especially since they
literally did it like 2 years before they did it. Like, say a lot of people have very mixed feelings about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but I think it is a really good game. Like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is kind of an example of how, like, if they like give themselves a decent premise and don't overdo it, because they've only got like a year to produce and make these games, so it kind of makes sense that if you only focus on like something like Gen 1 or just remaking the region, but doing like an actual remake and not just a remaster, which BDSP is, let's be honest, then it's going to turn out pretty fucking good. Like, you see the graphics, so Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and like stylistically, it looks pretty good. And they were able to put effort into most of the Pokemon. Like, you can ride, or they can like follow along with you. You like sit on Snorlax's belly when you ride on it. You're running alongside shit. Meanwhile, like Legends of
Yeah.
Arceus is just Ekans levitates behind you like a floating purple piece of shit.
Oh, you mean BDSP?
Yeah, sorry, BDSP.
Oh, yeah, okay. I
Like,
was gonna say Ekans is in Legends. I was,
yes, my bad.
But no, yeah, that makes sense.
That's kind of my
I
main
agree
gripe with BDSP is that it came after Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and that's literally better than it. And it came out like 3-4 years earlier, and it's just superior.
Yeah. It sucks because Kanto gets all the love as always. They didn't have to do Kanto. They could have just made Let's Go about Diamond and Pearl, but they didn't. Instead, they
Because
made it about
Kanto!
Everyone loves Kanto. God,
They're trying to. I mean, it worked.
Kanto.
Like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee got like a lot of people that I know who are like a little older interested in Pokemon again because they remember back in the 90s playing Pokemon Red and all that shit, Fire Red. And now they've got a new version that's accessible to the Switch and they can play it again.
Yeah, but I didn't like it personally. Oops, that's me. I don't like Kanto that much. Whoops, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Well. I'm going to get attacked.
Careful, Brandon, you're done for now. The Nintendo ninjas are coming after you.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I have no regrets.
I hate to go in this direction because this is more Nintendo negativity, but like the Nintendo ninjas have just been overclocked this past week or so. Thousands of Nintendo-based OSTs have just been stripped off of YouTube. Like playlists of all these decade-old games just gone. With like mass exodus of Nintendo OSTs, and it's getting to the point where like you've got to have a GBA, you've got to have a Wii and a Switch just to listen to Nintendo OSTs. Like,
oh my God,
there's not an issue with Nintendo taking down its own property, although it's not people claiming that they're Nintendo composers or anything. It's just them uploading OSTs to games and whatnot. But they're also not supplementing us with a place to listen to these OSTs.
Yeah.
And a lot of these games are several decades old, so it's about like preservation at this point because they're not in production, they're not accessible anymore. And sure, they've started, although I think... I was about to say it's a coincidence, but not really. But about a month ago... this was released in Japan, but there was an official page released by the Pokemon Company where you could listen to the original Diamond and Pearl soundtrack. And it's a really well done page.
They just released that on YouTube.
Yeah, they only just pulled that out now. Like, I don't know if I can find it in due time, but that's been out for a month in Japan.
Damn.
And they just kind of waited, or like they didn't bother releasing it until Nintendo just pulled this shit. It's called the Sound Library of Pokemon Co. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And this is the alternative that we kind of needed, like for a viewing platform. But at the same time, this doesn't equate to the several other hundreds of games which don't have access to this. Because this is done by the Pokemon Company, not by Nintendo. Nintendo's just stripping everything down, and I guess the Pokemon Company saw this as an opportunity to promote their own page that they only had for the Japanese fans. Because let's be honest, Japan's really the only place that Nintendo cares about. Like, they got all the extra event shinies, etc. I mean, that's just Japanese culture, really. I mean, Nintendo's always been very backwards about, like, international law and all that crap. Like with Toei Animation going after that one guy who was doing video essays on various animes of theirs, and then they struck him down to the dirt. How dare you rate our stuff and use footage from our TV shows under fair use? It's not fair use in Japan. But either way.
I agree with you. That is definitely a problem. Why I don't get why they don't just sell it, right?
Literally.
I know everyone would still complain anyways because you have to pay to listen to these classics, but just it's such a no-brainer. You can make so much money for selling all these classic things. It's the same with their legacy video games, right? It's impossible to get a legit copy of Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, or Black and White even, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver, without having to pirate it or something like that nowadays.
Even X and Y. I'd say at this point,
X and Y,
X and Y is becoming scarce. Because like that's almost like wow, that's close to almost a decade ago. Almost,
it's almost 10 years old. Yeah, God, wow.
Like,
oh God.
I'd say X and Y is becoming scarce. I see like they're not around. I don't see them in production. I don't see them in circulation.
Yeah.
But yeah. And it's because because Nintendo wants you to buy the games, but the games don't exist for you to buy.
Yeah, we want to buy your games, Nintendo. Let us buy your games, please.
Not for $500 for Pokemon Emerald, you know?
Yeah. I don't get why they just haven't done a virtual console of their own, right? It's so easy to make an emulator, especially for a video game company, you know? They've got all the assets already.
I think they did it with the Wii U. A couple.
Yeah, they did it with the Wii U.
Even with the Switch, like I could have sworn there was something more recent.
But
it was only like
Switch
one
Online.
game.
No, Nintendo Switch Online
even counted.
No, they've got like Nintendo 64 games and Genesis games on there now, so...
Yeah, but Nintendo Online's a bit of a sore subject.
Oh yeah, no, it still sucks, but...
It sucks ass.
At least there's a way to play them.
Disgusting servers.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
That's true. But at least there's a way to play those classic games, right? Half their enormous library is unavailable.
See, I really just do believe that we should emulate Nintendo games is perfectly morally okay.
I think emulating any game that is not being sold properly is fine, because then it's not hurting anybody. Yeah.
They're not losing profits. What profits?
Yeah. God, it would be so nice if they just ported some of these old games to the Switch or something like that, or made them available to play. I'm sure it'd be super easy just to put a bunch of Game Boy games on because it's already got the one screen.
They've only got Nintendo Online. Like, come on, just let us buy them online and download them. These games are like 15 megabytes. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know.
It's the same thing with the soundtracks.
You can literally sell people soundtracks. Exactly.
Yeah. Or Spotify is right there. iTunes is right there. It's so easy.
Upload them to YouTube yourselves. Or at least.
Yeah. And the worst part is that they know about it because they keep taking all this stuff down. So, yeah.
Nintendo ninjas, they're really on it.
I know, man. Like, I want to listen to Fire Emblem music without having everyone screaming halfway through the game. So, you know, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. That means, like, all the Zelda music I had is gone.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. If you had any playlist of Nintendo stuff, gone.
Ah, damn it. Well, you know what?
If it's not, count yourself very lucky. It'll only last for about a week.
Let's see it. Oh, wow, it's still here.
Look at that.
150 videos in there. It's all still there. Great.
Brilliant. That is most impressive.
Oh, actually, yeah, all the Fire Emblem stuff is still here. Never mind. I'm not complaining, guys. I'm happy. Yeah.
Nintendo do something wrong? Never. What are you guys on about? Careful, Brandon. If your playlist becomes popular, then everyone else is going to use it, and then Nintendo will catch on. We're going to keep it hush-hush.
Okay. All good. I can do that.
Guys, Brandon does not have a playlist of 151 Nintendo licensed songs that haven't been caught yet. They're not there.
They don't.
Don't exist.
Yeah, and it's not It's not from any game in particular. It's just Zelda. You know, one of
Fake
their
news.
best-selling franchises.
Literally one of the best of all time.
Yeah. That means a lot of Pokemon stuff has also probably gone off the internet. Great.
Almost.
That's okay
certainly.
though. No, it's not. Yeah. But anyways, just to steer things back to
Positives.
Arceus. Yeah. Talk about a step forward, right? I mean, man, this is definitely what Pokemon needs, I think, going forward.
Yeah. I reckon if they keep this format, you know, like the whole...
Yeah, I'm struggling to imagine what it's going to be like if they maintain this in, like, proper mainline games, you know? If they're going to do a Sword and Shield sort of thing where maybe all the roots are these big areas and then just the towns in between are smaller areas like Jubilife Village, or what is it they're going to do?
I mean, they're going to... They're going to have to linear the game as per usual. Like, they're never going to give us... I don't think we're going to see true open world, because that's...
I mean, that's fine. I like what they've done here.
Quite frankly, I'm satisfied with this, even though it looks like dog shit.
Well, yeah.
But, like... They have to... I reckon they really got to keep a similar catching mechanic. I think the open world, like you going around catching Pokemon, sneaking up on them, all of the Pokemon being open world, like this works. This is what people like.
Definitely.
I don't know whether so much like the mission aspect. I don't know if that'll like comply, but like... Because, you know, most people are just going to... most people are just going to want to, you know, one and done, complete the Pokedex, only have to catch one. Although I will admit, the new shiny rates, I do not mind that.
Okay, alright. I'm so annoyed by this, because one of my other friends, he has gotten 6 shinies in his time of playing, and we've been playing about the same time so far. I've seen 1. And that one shiny was basically given to you because it was part of a quest.
The Ponyta, yeah.
The Ponyta, that damn Ponyta. As great as it is, that sucks. But, I haven't seen a single goddamn shiny ever. Legitimately.
Damn.
And not given to you. Yeah. It's been like 10 years since I saw that shiny Bidoof, and I don't think I even caught it. And it was in a pirated copy of Platinum, so, you know, didn't even count. I just want a shiny something.
It's weird.
You know?
That is so weird to me. Because this is probably the easiest main game, like the main series game. This is the game to shiny farm. Because like once you get... I mean, just to be brief, when you get those like outbreaks, people like, you know, where it tells you like there's a mass outbreak of blah blah blah, there's actually a way to farm and reset those, and those have increased shiny odds, and the shiny odds are already amazing. So like you can actually farm those by resetting them and resetting the loot table, the spawn table, until you eventually get a shiny one.
So you mean like just as it's about to form, you just quit out of the game, go back in, and then
like I'm not an expert on it, but essentially like what you got to do is you got to find it. You got to turn off autosave, obviously, but then just go through it, like catch them all. Like you would have saved there, and then if there's nothing left, then you just close the game, and then you'd set up a new save, because you'd end up back at the camp. You'd make a save there, then you go back into the village, and then when you go back out, that would reset the loot table, and you get a different set of mons, and then you'd go through that process. I can hook you up with a video, but like this is the easiest way to like force a shiny. And it does have a chance to change an outbreak as well. So, like, if there's just an outbreak, but you want a different Pokemon, you can try resetting it to get the Pokemon in that general area you'd prefer. But, like, as far as I can tell, that can give you anywhere between, like, 8 and 12 chances at a shiny with severely increased odds.
Wow.
This game
That's
is just
actually insane.
really easy. Like you can take down the shiny odds to like 1 in 400 or something like that, compared to like 1 in 8,000, and that's without the shiny charm. You know, like you do not need the shiny charm to farm anymore. That's just like for
That's
fun
actually
now.
pretty good.
It is really nice. Hence why I've gotten 2 full odd shinies for no fucking reason. Like they're nothing amazing. Okay, it's a Zubat and a fucking gold. What a Geodude. And admittedly, like they're cool, but like they're not really what I'm looking for.
Two of my least favorite Pokemon. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. It's whatever.
Okay. No,
but I'll hook you up with the actual resources. But yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Man. Well, that's another great thing about this game, I guess.
This game's so quality of life.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's fun. For the love of God, I didn't realize how boring these other Pokemon games have been lately.
Just
like
mash buttons and skip dialogue and wipe people's asses. And
one of my favorite things is how quick and snappy the UI is.
Yes.
Right?
My God. So responsive.
All these past 3D games, they just take forever to process an action for whatever reason. Sometimes
BDSP is
BDSP as well.
I hate to bring it up, but BDSP, not even just like how long it takes and how unresponsive it is, but the friend mechanic. You see people having a single turn being given an extra 12 seconds of runtime because your Pokemon toughed it out for you. It got a crit, cured itself of poisoning, then it wanted to turn around and ask if it did a good job, and then it wants to tell you that it's having a bad day. And
all right. So I have a problem with this in a different way. See, I don't get that ever. It is actually infuriating how little I get those friendship boosts, right? Like, it's just like the shiny thing. I don't know why, but for some reason, my luck in that game is so damn stupid. I just never, ever get like, oh, it endured a crit because it loves you. Wow. It did a critical hit on this guy. Wow, that's great. I have never gotten that, man. And I hate it. My God. In the Cynthia battle in that game, I went into it completely underleveled, and I was just counting
as
on
many did.
Maybe getting one of those. Yeah, and I didn't, Callan. It took me like 7 goes to beat Cynthia because the stupid game wouldn't give me any of that. But, yeah. So I have the opposite problem. And I don't know why.
Kind of relatable. I recall they also implemented this mechanic in Sun and Moon, and I didn't get it popping up until like severely into the post game. Like after I'd finished everything and the post game, and then I was just grinding it out for like competitive mons for fun. I didn't get anything until like the last minute, and then all of a sudden my Pukumuku was surviving hits that it probably could have lived anyways. You know, like it just feels like a bad mechanic overall. Like. There should just be a way to like optimize it.
Yes, no, I completely agree with you on that. More options, like we said before, would be fantastic. But either way, Legends Arceus kind of solves all those issues because friendship isn't even a thing in these games.
Exactly.
And I keep thinking it is, and it doesn't happen, and then I end up having half my team knocked out. But
friendship was stupid. It let you win battles that you had no right to, and it just took away from the whole victory.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? At least with the removal of it means that crafting is a thing, which I love.
Crafting is so fun. It's so nice.
Yeah. Making your own potions and revives. So brilliant.
It's genius.
I can't believe this hasn't been the thing before. Yeah. And man, making your own Pokeballs as well, and the different types of Pokeballs is so great as well.
Above and beyond, like goddamn. And there's also the smoke bombs and like all of that.
Yeah, those have a purpose. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna have to start getting into those soon because that's how you catch alphas without even engaging in battle. You just set down a smoke bomb, then chuck a ball of dirt at it, and then hit it from behind with a regular Pokeball. Boom! Level 56 Alpha Lucario. It's
Lucario. I haven't even
hilarious.
seen a Lucario yet. Yeah, that's right.
He's in the ice region, so have fun with that. The Alpha
that
one.
makes sense.
I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't explored that fully yet.
It's fun.
Man, have you seen Hisuian Gudra yet?
I have the big snail boy. He's
I
gorgeous.
haven't seen Gudra. I've only seen Sliggoo so far. I'm very curious to know what it's like, but that was a very fun alpha battle.
Man, the post game, it exists. There's so I know that there's a lot.
Okay.
Like this game is so fucking long. There's
And I love
so
that.
much to do. This is like The Witcher 3 of Pokemon.
Dude, I've been playing The Witcher 3 and Legends at the same time, and the control scheme bugs me so much for Legends because
it does.
This is like one of my only other gripes with the game aside from the graphics. The control scheme sucks. Why is the inventory menu the up button? Why is that not the plus button? That makes no
sense. Literally, the plus. Swap the plus button and the thingy around so you can have the ride Pokemon with the up button and the plus being the inventory. It makes so much more sense.
And then, as well, the ride Pokemon, you press like the side button, the left and right buttons, in order to cycle through them. So why wouldn't the top button be the... Literally. I don't know, man. But yeah, and also, I really hate this, but the map button, the minus button, I think it is.
Yeah, the arc
for some reason, map. Yeah, you press minus to get into the map, but when you press minus to get out of it, it doesn't get out of it. It just zooms out. There's already a zoom out button.
it's a bit counterintuitive. You can remap it, obviously, but like, who the fuck's bothered?
It's not that I'm not bothered. I just can't be bothered to have to change my preset every single time for every game that I play. Because then Breath of the Wild actually has a good control scheme. So, but yeah, which is fair.
Oh boy, I hate it now that I play with multiple consoles. Like I got the Switch and the PlayStation 5 because I gotta mentally swap around which buttons do which. It was like, come on!
I don't even know how.
Why did no one agree? Why could no one agree where the X button goes? Like they're all in different places between all the consoles.
I mean, yeah, PlayStation at least looks and feels like a completely different controller.
It does.
Xbox controller though,
it does not
deal with that because the A, X, B, Y buttons between the Xbox controller and Switch controls are completely inverted for whatever reason.
It's vexing. So that's what it is.
Yeah, it's infuriating. But oh well. That's their problem.
Exactly.
That's why I'm never buying an Xbox product again.
Yeah.
Because of the control.
Meanwhile, the Xbox in the land.
All in all.
All in all.
Tim, you've got all three of the latest gen. Hey.
I know. I don't use the Xbox. It's more so for the kids, but like, look at me go.
Of course.
Naturally.
Yeah. Who needs an Xbox?
I don't.
But yeah, I
God of War right here.
All in all, I think to wrap things up about Legends Arceus, pretty good game. Yeah, pretty good.
This is a step in the right direction. Yeah, it is irritating that it took so long, but I think in the many degrees, this just goes to exemplify that the 1 year release schedule for the Pokemon company just isn't going to work if they're not going to tap into the Nintendo resources, and they don't have a big enough team. Like you see the credits go by and it takes like maybe a minute, and like they only fit like 10 names on the screen at a time. Like it's that just isn't gonna cut it,
I
It takes
think one of
Toby
my favorite.
Fox like much longer. I mean, I'm just going to use this as an example. Toby Fox takes several years to create a game, which severely less detailed, obviously, but like
Mm.
it's successful because it has an art style and it has a good story. And Pokemon has never been artistically driven, or at least graphically driven. Artistically, people enjoy it. People enjoy like Pokemon
Well,
designs and whatnot, or
yeah, I
certain
think.
areas, regions, and general themes. But
Mm.
when it gets to the point where the graphics inhibit the execution, where like you're
Mm.
taken out of the immersion by seeing trees pop out of nowhere, like you're playing Genshin Impact on the lowest possible resolution because your shitty iPhone 7 can't barely, load more than 3 trees at once, or when you can't have more than about a half dozen Pokemon in your screen before you start dropping frames, or when
Yeah, no,
textures
see,
look like they were done in Microsoft Paint.
while all true, I
I don't
I'm blanking. I
mind.
completely forgot.
I don't
Um,
mind bad graphics if they don't take away from the game. And
I
bad is a very blunt word of putting it. There's a better way. There are better ways to
well, it is
express
bad.
this. This
It
is
is
just
bad, and
bad. This is bad.
I think one of the main things to take away from this is the fact that Game Freak has never been a 3D game developing company. They've always done 2D sprites,
This is true.
which were fantastic. So I understand why. So they really should have gotten more experienced people in the 3D world.
They just need to
come and
tap
take
into the
over.
Nintendo money. They are
Yep.
the most lucrative
Not even
franchise
Nintendo.
of all time.
Yeah, not even Nintendo. They just need their own money.
But if they're refusing to spend their own money, Nintendo would more than happily fork out a couple more million, Genshin
I
Impact
don't even.
fucking uses more money. I hate to use Genshin Impact as another, as a crux, but I feel like it's kind of relevant because it's a fucking mobile game that looks better than
Yeah.
a Switch game, and Genshin Impact has been scheduled to be released on the Switch for like the past 2, maybe almost 3 years, but it just hasn't happened. And there's a very large part of me that feels like that's because the Switch can't even handle Genshin Impact. Like,
I think it definitely can. If it can handle Breath of the Wild, it can handle Genshin.
so why has it
Sorry.
been,
If it can
two and
handle
a
The
half?
Witcher, it can handle Genshin.
Yeah, I mean, this is fair. Still,
I don't know. It's probably just some legal stuff.
this is fair. Mihoyo, the owner or
It's like-
creator, is going through a bit of a kerfuffle right now. But irregardless, like,
Oh, okay.
I feel like
There you
there's
go.
been some kind of postponing on the side of Nintendo. Because I will admit, it's weird. I want to simultaneously blame part of it on the Switch, but also on the coding. Because like we remember back in Sun and Moon how disgustingly bad the game had been compressed, and how like
Oh, yeah.
they had multiple files of the same shit, of the same models, which is like doubling the size of its contents here and there. It's not fun. I don't know. That's just it, really. Like, I mean, the graphics, like, it will get to a point where it holds back the game. Like, we remember seeing Sword and Shield in those cutscenes, and then Zamazenta just fucking moonwalks on the spot.
Yeah.
That took me out of the immersion immediately.
Yeah.
I
Same.
just looked at it and it was like, what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
That just ruined the whole cutscene for me entirely.
Ruined the whole game for me because it just.
Yeah.
I felt like I was almost ignoring all the problems beforehand, and then when I saw that, I just couldn't ignore it anymore. I had to laugh, and how bad
it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like that's their company model. Just get away with it.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
I mean, hey, look, Legends Arceus. I hope they keep going forward with this series. It's made by Game Freak,
ironically,
and
they
at
just
least
kept all the
shows-
models. If they just keep the Pokemon models and then just up everything else, literally.
Hmm.
Or hell, you know what would be
Honestly,
cool if
I
if
feel
they
like
did Gen 5 and they only had like the original Gen 5 Pokedex from Black and White, or
yeah,
at least because I mean no one complained. If they're gonna do another fucking series like this, I reckon they should just stick to like small portions of the Pokedex and then just emphasis on everything else. Like we could see the
I think
original
there's
dragon even.
I think there's yeah, I mean I think there's 250 Pokemon in Legends Arceus, which I think is a perfect amount
That's
for a game
just
like
pretty much
this.
on this. That's pretty much what we need.
Yeah, that's like the sweet spot. I think
Yeah,
going forward, 250 to 300 Pokemon in a game like this is perfect. But then
pretty
for a game like
much.
Sword and Shield, where Sword and Shield is meant to be like the main place for the competitive scene, you should have every single Pokemon,
Yeah,
at least available
it's
so you can
it's
trade it
it's
up.
never gonna happen. But we're kind of asking for like a dedicated competitive platform, like a main series game, which is literally just like Pokemon Showdown.
Well, yeah, that's
But
part of their whole business model. It's just them having all these different. The games aren't
because
anything
I
other than just
reckon like they could have some, Pokemon Home that like
yeah,
the device. Yeah, essentially, what if you had that, but it was like a hub for you to like raise competitive Pokemon and shit, and it was based on save data from other games. So you'd only have access to X and such and such if you bought such and such game. That might be a
mm,
bit of a dick move, but like if you could have it correlate in some way, or if you had
yeah,
to like input Pokemon from games that you've played into this, and then you battle with them on that platform, something like that, just to give people an incentive to use that and buy the main series games or
now that would be
something.
perfect. Yeah, because then otherwise they're only just the only reason why they keep making games is just because they need to profit off of the tournaments, off of the merchandise,
It's
the
really
anime,
barely
that
anything
sort of
about
thing.
the tournaments too. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's merchandise,
I
it's
don't
the
know about
anime. It's, I mean, the games make decent sales, but the anime, the merchandise, the Pokemon Center profits from merch is
yeah.
insane. That shit sells out, like $700 plushies, and they sell out within 30 minutes.
Mm.
Like, people are crazy for this franchise, and it shows.
Yep.
This is a
I bought
long-winded
both BD
intro, and that's on me.
outro. No, that's
Outro.
okay. Yeah. Hey, all good. I think we'll cut it there then.
I believe we
Basically, all you
will.
need to know is Legends Arceus is really good and worth your money.
It
Surprisingly, I've
is.
never said that about a Pokemon game
Unironically,
before.
I really
Yeah.
have not.
Wow.
Pokemon games do not usually deserve the $80 US,
Yeah.
AU, 60
Whatever it is.
US, whatever the fuck.
Mm.
But this one kind of does.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
We did it.
Emulate the rest. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Especially
It's easy
Sword and
to
Shield.
emulate,
Emulate that.
especially. Or just don't play Sword and Shield. It's not really worth it,
Or just
honestly.
don't. Just don't
Yeah.
touch it. Except for competitive, but even then, like, just go on Pokemon Showdown.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's more children, you get to communicate with them, you get to call them slurs. It's the best.
Yeah. There we go. Alrighty. Thank you, and goodbye.
Now we
Callan,
need an outro. Yeah.
you meant to say your thing.
Ah. Fuck off.
There we go.
People have been saying that the perfect Pokemon game would just be one where you could travel across all the regions. But there's literally Poke
I
MMO, which is
disagree.
just that. And it's a
Yeah.
it's an MMO as well, and like it's not really that great. Who gives a
Yeah.
fuck?
I just
That's not a
need one
cohesive
region, I'm
story.
happy. Maybe two.
Two for fun,
Nah.
like Soul Silver and all that shit, where it's like you're done with the main story, you go to Kanto for a visit. You know what? The issue with Soul Silver and all of that is that you go back to Kanto and literally nothing has happened. Like everything's the same.
Yeah.
There's no like development with the leaders. Everything's the same. It's just the same old boring shit that you played through when you were a kid a couple of years ago. Except now there's also red on some random ass fucking mountain.
And that's pretty cool.
That's cool. The rest of it, people
Yeah.
say Kanto
Okay.
is like the only reason why Soul Silver and whatnot is good, but like it's underwhelming, which just kind of shows you that Gen 2 really needs a remake. Come on. Where's the Gen 2 content, Nintendo?
Dun dun dun.